Morning everybody, I hope you're all well. Apologies, it's been a little while since I have done a video, but we've got one here for you and it's a great little fly. It's a variation on a hare's ear, but instead of a gold ribbed hare's ear, which is the more traditional version, mine is a wine ribbed hare's ear. And I have to say this colour combination has served me well across multiple large and small still waters across the UK. So it's a really great little pattern, and I'm going to show you how to tie it. In the vise, we have a Togens Nymph Competition Barbless size 12. The thread is going to be a wine coloured thread, nice and simple. The tail, cock pheasant tail, so a slight step away from the traditional hare's ear pattern, which calls for the hare's cheek. This is cock pheasant tail. The body is vicuna dubbing, and I'm going natural hare's ear sub for the body, and then I'm going where's it gone? The Claret hare's ear sub for the thorax, and the rib on the fly is Togens Kironi skin holographic in wine, and that is what it looks like. You can see it sort of shimmering a dark red. It's lovely, and it just adds a little bit of subtlety. As I say, I've had great success on this pattern, fished all over the UK. So let's get on with it, shall we? First and foremost, obviously, cast the thread on at the eye and go down more or less to the start of the bend, and then get rid of your rat's tail as normal. As I've said, the tail is a bunch of cock pheasant, and I like a big bunch, a nice pronounced tail. So pull them 90 degrees from the stem to line up the tips. Just tear them off, and then we've got a lovely tail. And then the tail length, they say the shank length. I like mine slightly shorter, so it's your fly. You have to have confidence with how it fishes. So make sure you're just happy with it. The tail length is up to you. That's a bit long for me, so I'm just going to adjust. There we go, that's perfect. And then I'm going to wrap this up all the way, trying to minimize lumps and bumps to an extent, and then snip off short of the eye. You always want to leave a gap at the eye because we've got thorax cover and the head to make. Right, rib next, and as I say, it's that Kironi skin, which is amazing stuff. So get yourself a strand of that, snip it free from the hank, and tie it in. There we go. And then just wrap down, put that Kironi skin in your materials clip if you've got one. Just makes everything a little bit easier. And make sure the tail doesn't wrap around the body. And then snip off your excess. Okay. Body material, as I said, vicuna dubbing natural hare's ear sub. Take a clump and then just start to roll it round in your fingers a little bit, just like that. It just loosens the fibres, and then pull it apart, put it on top, pull it apart, put it on top, pull it apart, put it on top. What we're doing is lining up the fibres. It just makes it, whilst this is easy to dub, it makes it slightly easier again to make a more controllable noodle. You don't need wax for vicuna dubbing, in my opinion. That doesn't help, and just dub it onto the thread. Make a nice even dubbing noodle. We are going to make a carrot shaped body, but you can add to what you've done, and then it's just a question of catching it in at the base of the fly like that. You can always tighten up as you go as well, so catch it in, make sure you get the shape you want, and then start wrapping up, making sure you get that taper, that carrot shape. There we go. And you want nice proportions here. We're going, the body is 2/3 of the hook shank, the thorax is 1/3 of the hook shank. So you really want, you know, a nice shape, and I think we've pretty much got that there. So once you've done that, rib the body, nice open turns, as many as you want. Just be careful, the hollow skin, the corony skin is a bit slippy, so you've just got to put a bit of tension onto it. Make sure it doesn't slip over the dubbing. There we go, and then when you're done, tie that off. Okay. Snip off your excess. Right, next up, let's just tidy up first, make sure it's neat. Next step is thorax cover. Now this is a trick I learned from Frank Brassard on one of his videos. And what you do for your thorax cover, you actually tie in 3 clumps of pheasant tail. So you pull it 90 degrees from the stem, so you line up the tips. And then, first of all, tie it in on top of the hook shank. Oh, the thread's being a bit tricky. So you've got it on top of the hook shank. Take a second clump, same size as the first one. Only, I'm talking 5 or 6 fibres here, I think, really. And then we're going to tie that on my side. So we've created a V. And then we're going to take another clump of 5 or 6. And do it on the other side. And I'll show you the view from the top in just a moment. So there you go. 1, 2, 3. Try and keep them like that as much as you can as you wrap back, and also make sure thread tension doesn't take them round the side of the hook shank. You want this absolutely on top, and then snip off what was going forwards, tidy up so the eye is clear, and then take that thread back where you want the thorax to start, making sure all the time that those 3 clumps, and you can see still 3 distinct clumps, are on top. We're then going with the Claret sub. I'm going to pull off some of that and dub that straight on. And most insects in nature have a darker thorax, so that's why we're going natural for the body and Claret for the thorax. And Claret also speaks to the wine rib as well, so it's a nice bit of consistency. Just dub over some of that pheasant tail just so that the finished fly looks complete when we pull that over. And you want a nice bulbous thorax, still leaving space at the eye, and then we come forwards. There we go. Perfect. Right, now all we're going to do is bring all 3 of those clumps of pheasant tail over the top. Make sure they're in a good position. Make sure you're happy with how it looks. Couple of reps in front, pull them back. Couple of reps behind, pull it back. Couple of reps in front. I like to do a whip finish here. Just one. You just don't worry about the pheasant tail. That'll ping out the way. There you go. So we've done pheasant tail. That just saves you work. We've done that whip finish. That just saves you work. And then it's a question of coming in. If you've got a blade, come in with a blade. All I'm doing is taking not all of these. It's easier to cut them off close if you do them a bit at a time. There we go. And then it's just a question of shortening the massive piece of thread I've got out and tidying up, making sure at all times the eye is clear. There we go. And then whip finish. There we go, right. Done and dusted. As you can see, lovely covering on the thorax cover, nice and full. That is my one ribbed hare's ear. Give it a go. Let me know how you get on. You can search me through Instagram. You can search me through Togens. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.